Hey guys, it's MaizeMan112, and today, as you guys can see by the title of the video, I have something that's semi-controversial. So before I go ahead and jump into it, let me go ahead and give a quick disclaimer. That way you guys aren't, already closing your window or hitting it dislike. You guys can do that, but at least let me give you this little brief on really where I'm coming from and how I feel on the situation. For one, I do not, associate with any kind of Nazis, neo-Nazis, anything like that. I do not condone that. I do not believe anything that they really say. But with that being said, I want to look at this in a different light. Something that you're not going to see in history books. And I've been reading or watching or listening, I guess, to a podcast. And it's called Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Now, if you guys are into history, I'm a little bit of a history nerd myself. It's just great to hear this guy talk. And really what it is, it's kind of an audiobook where he kind of breaks down everything. And really what I was listening to was Genghis Khan. You guys all know who the Mongols and everything like that. But it's kind of talking about how we would have a revisionist look into the history of Genghis Khan now that it's been about 1,000 years or so since his reign. Would we say that he actually helped the region and helped that area that, we wouldn't say beforehand? Before, we would just say that he's this horrible guy. But would we, now looking back, say, yeah, he wasn't that bad. Now, what he does to go ahead and kind of illustrate this point is that he talks about a forest. He calls it destructive criticism. And he talks about this forest, and this forest is just completely covered in rot. Everything is rotten. The trees aren't growing. There's no kind of animals or anything right there. It's just rotten. And then lightning strikes. And the lightning strikes and it catches on fire. And the whole place burns down, and from these ashes, the earth or the ground is reborn. The vegetation starts to flourish again. The animals are there foraging. You can see them there. They're there. And it's because of this lightning and this fire and this catastrophe that the entire area is just completely reborn, revamped, ready to start anew. So this really got me thinking. He had mentioned that, it's easy for him to do Genghis Khan because this was 1,000 years ago. But that there's no way he would ever write a book or touch the subject about Adolf Hitler and the Nazi parties in the same light, same question. And it really got me thinking, it's probably too full pa for him because he, is an author and he's, getting out to millions of people. But me, I'm just your average Joe. So I can fucking talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm really looking for you guys' opinion because I know I have some subscribers in the UK. I know I have some of you guys from other parts of Europe. I know I have subscribers in Australia, in Mexico, and Canada. So I really want to understand this full, world sense, world view on something that happened in the not so distant history. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and say is that we have lots of technological advances because of the Nazi Party and because of World War II. And we all know the gun advancements and a lot of that kind of stuff. We see it in the video games we play today. I mean, we all know, you kind of see that, the Tommy gun was pre-World War II, but World War II has really gotten into these rifles that were really good in long ranges and were consistent. You didn't have any kind of jamming. You started to really, change the consistency of your weapon. And it wasn't such a, you didn't have that question of, is my weapon going to fire? But there were also other, huge advances that were really forced or pushed by the Nazi Party. And one of these is rocketry. Now, we've all kind of heard the story of Werner von Braun, who is a German rocketeer, I guess we could call him. He is known as the father of rocketry. And if you guys ever seen the movie October Sky, I know it's kind of old now, but it kind of talks about him and it follows his story from an American kind of point of view. These were college kids that were trying to get into rockets, and everyone told them they were dumb, but he was their inspiration. And he really is the reason why Americans, their anti-aircraft and their missiles were so good, was because of him. And without these rockets, you don't have jet engines. So these jet engines that are now, powering these fighter, planes that you had. If you look at the planes in the beginning of World War II to the planes compared to at the end of World War II, it's a night and day comparison. And this was all pushed because people need to be innovative. And not only did you need to be innovative, you need to be quick in your innovation, quick in your production, and you needed to do it, because if not, it was going to cost lives. So this really pushed everybody forward. And it's one of those rare, perfect storms that you don't see unless you have extenuating circumstances like you did in World War II. But we've all kind of said, we've seen the whole war side of things, and you expect in wartime for, the killing machines to get better. But what about the stuff on the outside of the war side? Now, we all know that there was medical advances during World War II. Surgery was revolutionary. You were saving people's lives that you would never save before. Before, you would have the problem that it wasn't so much the wound that was going to kill you, it was the infection. But World War II, we've seen the production of penicillin and the quality of the penicillin to skyrocket. So we were actually saving these people's lives, and it was all because of this war that was being fought. And not only that, we started seeing people, that were using inoculations for malaria. So we knew how to combat malaria because of this as well. And blood transfusions. All this stuff was kind of driven by World War II. Now, to look on the financial side really quick, and this is really where I want you guys' opinion on everything, but I really want to know, do you guys feel like it helped your country, your respective country, financially? Now, the U.S., they profited greatly from World War II. And most of this was at Britain's expense. UK, Britain, I don't want to offend anybody, but it was their expense. They were forced to pay this debt to the U.S. for using their services, using their arms. And it killed them. It crushed them. At that point in time, France and Britain, they were, the top global, powerhouse in Europe, for sure. And it absolutely crushed them to have to pay this debt. Now, Germany, on the other hand, they were split in half, as we all kind of know. And the West did great as well, monetarily. The U.S. was kind of propping up their economy, and they turned out all right. You did have that whole kind of communist, left-right wing type thing going on. But in the overall end of it, they did well financially, and they became an economic powerhouse, and were actually making more money per capita than England was shortly after the war. Now we look at it on Russia's side, another huge player in this entire war. Russia, they didn't get a ton of money, but they get a ton of land. We all know that this is where the USSR, kind of the Soviet Union, really came from. They got all this land. The amount of land they got is kind of hard to fathom, kind of hard to imagine, but just go ahead and look at an old map and see how much land they actually got. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' opinion. Make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Spotlight! Make sure you guys check it out. It's Mondays with MaizeMan. Today I go ahead and talk about a cheating girlfriend, a prom date, Minnesota burns, and some other junk. Make sure you guys check it out. My KD is 1.57.